I figured this shirt works. It's just like a bunch of different stories colliding. Seems appropriate for this. Hey guys, welcome back to the MCU HQ, and this is my review of episode 9 of What If, the season 1 finale of What If. We are getting a second season. Unclear when that's coming out. This one is titled, What If the Watcher Broke His Oath? This is the one where he brings everyone together to form the Guardians of the Multiverse. Those people being Captain Carter, Doctor Strange Supreme, Killmonger, Star-Lord T'Challa, Party Thor, Gamora, and Black Widow shows up. But not this Black Widow, the one from episode 8, but she didn't get a poster, so this is the one I went with. Alright, now, what did I think of this episode? Well, I have some pros and cons to this episode that we'll get into. This was a good episode, I liked it, but it was not amazing. But first, I want to address Gamora, because her character, she got a poster, they marketed this, it's a Gamora episode where she's wearing Thanos' armor. She pops up in this episode. Now, my one issue with her being in this episode, I get that she had to be in it because they had it all recorded and edited and animated and all that. So what happened is that she had a standalone episode that got delayed to season 2. And so her appearance in this episode is supposed to take place after that episode. So we don't know her story, but what I can tell you is that this episode spoils her standalone episode that we'll get in season 2. And I'll explain why when we get into spoilers. I don't want to get into that now. We get these 7, it is? Yeah, we get these 7 heroes forming the Guardians of the Multiverse. And how is their dynamic? Because in a team up, the team needs to have a good dynamic. And I think they do have one. There even is a scene where they sit down and they just chat a bit and become a team. Each of them helps out in some way, which is awesome. And what's also awesome is the team up moves. They utilized everyone's skill set to give team up moves. I'll get into the specifics of like the best ones and spoilers, but I love seeing team up moves in comic book stuff. And also the Watcher, he brings them all together in a way, while he isn't directly on the front lines of the battle, in a way he's the 8th member of this team. And it's so cool to get to see him interact and talk to people other than himself. Sure, he talked to Ultron the last episode. Sure, he talked to Doctor Strange in his episode. But in this, he gets to sit down. Like, he just talks with his team that he put together, and they just chat. And I think it's cool to finally see the Watcher get to interact with more people. But as I said, this episode, not without problems. And the biggest issue with this episode and the show as a whole is the length. These episodes are way too short. Some of them are a fine length like this. Some of them need to be longer. I'm looking at you, Killmonger episode, and I think this is one of those episodes that needs to be longer. When it started and it said the episode was 35 minutes, I thought it was going to be rushed. I was not wrong. The recruitment part of this episode happens in like the first 3 minutes, and then the team has a short conversation, and then it's just a fight for the rest of it. It escalates from here to here in a matter of a minute. What that does, it doesn't really give us, enough time to see this team really form because they just go straight to fighting. And I also think that the central conflict with Ultron ends way too abruptly. They were hyping it up, and I feel like at some point it just cuts off. I think that's also an issue with length, but I think on the other hand, it could also be an issue of them introducing this villain in the second to last episode. I don't know. This is stuff I'm going to go over in my full series review that's hopefully coming out tomorrow or Friday. We'll see. And one more thing I did like before I get to my final thoughts is that this episode picks up and we do get to see a little bit of where each of the previous episodes had left off. We get to pick up where the Captain Carter episode is. We get to see some more of the Killmonger episode, some more of the T'Challa Star-Lord episode, a bit more of the Party Thor story. Just it gives us a little hint of what was happening next. That way it's not a full cliffhanger and they just never come back to it. No, the Watcher comes and picks these people up while they're in the middle of those storylines, so we get to see that. I really liked seeing the return of Captain Carter. I know a lot of people don't like the Captain Carter episode. I think Haley Atwell was pretty good in that episode. So yeah, I was happy to see Captain Carter again. That was pretty cool. But all in all, was this a satisfying ending to this season? Yes, it was. Again, I have issues with it, but it's a good conclusion to this season 1 storyline. And I'm interested to see where they go in season 2. It's a show with so many possibilities. I'm excited to see that. There is also a post-credit scene in this episode, finally. So stick around for the post-credit scene because it teases what we'll see in season 2. Alright, so that's it for non-spoilers. If you have not seen the episode, click away because I'm about to spoil it. If you have seen it, or if you just don't care about spoilers, welcome to the spoilers section of this video. Alright, so first off, I'm not going to do a play-by-play, just some big things here. So, first off, want to talk about the recruiting session at the start of this episode, and how cool it is to see bits from all those worlds again. We see the Captain Carter episode, they're now caught up to Winter Soldier, and she and Nat are on the Quinjet, and it's literally just the Winter Soldier, but reversed. Then we see the T'Challa Star-Lord episode, where Ego he's using Quill as a battery, and that, like, blue goo, and the Ravagers come in with T'Challa, and that's when the Watcher takes T'Challa. Oh, also, they take Captain Carter while she's fighting Batroc, and she's like, what is that? He thinks she's just messing with him to distract him, but the Watcher's actually there. They skip over Doctor Strange because he was involved in the recruiting, but then they go to Killmonger, where Pepper and Shuri are breaking into the throne room, and they get there, and Killmonger's gone because the Watcher came for him. Party Thor, that was a clip they released. It's really funny where he won't stop fighting, so the Watcher just picks him up and he screams. But we have to talk about Gamora here for a minute, because this spoiled the Gamora standalone episode. So there's a Lego set that is Tony Stark in space with his Sakari and Iron Man armor. That episode got delayed, but we see that Tony Stark in this episode. And Watcher comes to pick up Gamora. So what happened is that Tony Stark goes to space, meets Gamora. Now Gamora uses the Infinity Crusher to defeat Thanos. Now how do I know this? Because it's in this episode. Because she has the Infinity Crusher, says they can use that to destroy the stones. Then later she says, oh, they're only designed to work in my universe, not this universe. And the Watcher says that she destroyed Thanos. So it's pretty easy to figure out that Gamora defeated Thanos using that thing, and that this episode spoiled the standalone Gamora episode that we're going to see next season. Oh yeah, Tony Stark didn't die. That was new. Okay, so I mentioned in the non-spoiler section, team-up moves. How much I love team-up moves, and in this episode, we get some good team-up moves. Off the top of my head, the ones I remember a lot is the multiple Mjolnirs, where Thor throws his hammer and Doctor Strange multiplies it, and then they all like magnetize to Ultron. I thought that was really cool. And then the double shield bashes were so fun. Just Black Widow and Captain Carter just hitting Ultron with their shields over and over. And then they did the thing where, you know, all 6 or 7 of them were all fighting him at once. And then there was the shield plus arrow combo. It was interesting because Black Widow is just as good a shot as Hawkeye with an arrow. Because, I mean, Ultron was glowing. She shot it from far away, not able to see his face, and got him right in the eye with Zola. Another cool thing they brought back, the Zombies episode, was not just a throwaway episode that didn't matter in the long run. He opened a portal, all the zombies fell through, and he didn't bring in the zombies for the sake of having zombies. He brought in the zombies because Scarlet Witch as a zombie comes with that. She wasn't much of an issue though, Ultron just kind of left. But the one guy who I was hoping would actually come in this episode was Spider-Man. I am surprised Spider-Man was not in here, especially when the portal opened and the zombies came through. I don't know why they didn't bring Spider-Man. Okay, so on Black Widow's world is where the final fight of this takes place. They go onto the world Black Widow was in. And the Stone Crusher doesn't work because every universe is different. So in this universe, that thing can't destroy the stones. It was meant to destroy the stones in Gamora's universe, not this one. So it doesn't work, so they can't kill Ultron that way. And after that, we get the new circle shot, which I liked. I'm a sucker for the circle shot. So here's how they beat him, right? Nat gets the arrow with Zola in it, and then Captain Carter jumps onto Ultron and pulls his mask back, and Natasha, as I mentioned, perfectly shoots this arrow right into Ultron's eye, at which point Zola goes in. Now, this is an issue I didn't get to mention in the non-spoiler section because it's a spoiler, but he beats Ultron way too easily. Ultron has access to the whole internet, right? He has all 6 Infinity Stones, and at this point he has just taken the Watcher's job and he now controls the multiverse. I feel like he should have been able to put up some sort of fight against Zola. And I narrow this down to the episode being hindered by length, because they had to hurry up and wrap it up. And so Zola just beats Ultron without Ultron putting up any sort of fight or defense. Or you're telling me that Ultron didn't have some barrier in his programming that Zola had to fight his way through? That would have been cool. So then Killmonger comes in and he takes the stones and he has Ultron's armor with the stones on, which I don't know. Killmonger being able to hold the stones just because he has the armor on doesn't sit right with me, because if having armor nullifies the stones, then that means Tony Stark shouldn't have died when he had all the stones? A normal human cannot survive the full power of the Infinity Stones, so he should not have lived through that. But what happens is that he and Ultron, or I guess Zola at this point, fight over who gets the stones, and so Strange just locks him in a pocket dimension and then tells the Watcher he'll watch over that little pocket dimension because he has nothing but time. So they all go back to their respective worlds, and I think the Watcher said he'll drop them off at the moment they were taken. So they all go back to exactly where they were, and Nat does not have a universe to go back to because she's the only one on that universe. She says she's not going to walk through, and the Watcher's like, I can't interfere. Then he does immediately to put her in the universe where Hank Pym killed all the Avengers. And so that's kind of just where it ends. Then the Watcher's like, yeah, I'm the Watcher. I just watch all this stuff. That's cool. And that goes to credits, but we do get a post-credit scene. And it picks up with Captain Carter getting punched by Batroc and then Nat beating him. And she says that she found what they were actually after. And they go down into the cargo hold of this ship, and the Hydra Stomper's in there. And then the music kicks in, the like Captain America theme kicks in, and Nat says there's someone in it. And then Captain Carter smiles, and there we go. In Season 2, Hydra Stomper's coming back, which explains this Lego set. So yeah, as I said, definitely not my favorite episode, but still a good one and a satisfying one to end this season on. I'm intrigued to see where they go in Season 2, some of the stories they're going to do, if they're going to cross over everyone again, and who's going to get added to that team. We'll see. But what did you guys think of this episode? I have 2 more What If videos. I have a full season review, which I still only do one for Loki because I never did, and then ranking the 9 episodes. So look forward to those. Those should be up sometime in the next few days, but that's gonna be it. So once again, what were your thoughts on this episode? Let me know down in the comments below. Also leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. That's gonna be it. Have a great day, guys.